Welcome to Audit Archive, where we run you through some of the most questionable and rather atrocious police encounters. Today, we're looking at several cases of police misconduct, including an incident where officers repeatedly tased, assaulted, and berated an innocent elderly civilian with schizophrenia, completely ignoring his condition and treating him in a disgusting manner. On May 24, 2021, in Oklahoma City, the local police department was in pursuit of 38-year-old Wasey Garrett Mickles, who had previous felony convictions for bank robberies, grand larceny, and robbery with a dangerous weapon. The reason for this high-speed pursuit was due to Mr. Mickles stealing a black Ford F-350 King Ranch pickup truck. How the officer handled capturing his target, though, was beyond reckless.
Alright, coming to 50th and we're at CIC. He's going to go through this parking lot right here. Once again, only 2 units of direct pursuit, guys. Everybody else parallel. Alright, eastbound on 50th from Oklahoma, approaching Lincoln. Speed about 65. Approaching Lincoln, going eastbound through Lincoln.
As can clearly be seen, the officer was accelerating at a dangerous speed in a residential area, even reaching 97 miles per hour. Obviously, such a reckless course of action endangered the civilians residing in the area, as well as other drivers on the road. According to the United States UCLA Police Department, it is stated that officers must not forget that the immediate apprehension of a suspect is generally not more important than the safety of the public and pursuing officers. Moreover, the policy also states when to terminate the pursuit of a suspect, depending on specific conditions. For this case, those conditions are 1. Hazards to uninvolved bystanders or motorists. 2. If the identity of the offender is known and it does not reasonably appear that the need for immediate capture outweighs the risk associated with continuing the pursuit. Officers should strongly consider discontinuing the pursuit and apprehending the offender at a later time.
He's right down at the King.
Moreover, UCLA's policy also considers speed as an important factor in police chases. Evaluation of vehicle speeds shall take into consideration public safety, officer safety, and the safety of the occupants of the fleeing vehicle, including the factors listed in Policy Manual Statute 314.2.1 and 314.2.2. If high vehicle speeds are reached during a pursuit, officers and supervisors shall consider these factors when determining the reasonableness of the speed of the pursuit. 1. Pursuit speeds have become unreasonably unsafe for the surrounding conditions. 2. Pursuit speeds have exceeded the driving ability of the officer. 3. Pursuit speeds are beyond the capabilities of the pursuit vehicle, thus making its operation unsafe. Unfortunately, the worst of this incident was yet to come. While the officer was chasing after the suspect crashed into another vehicle.
Give me your hands! Give me your hands! Now! Get out of the car! I'm trying! Hold on! God damn it! I'm trying to get it out of the car! You're not trying anything! I didn't say Give me your hands! You got my hands! You have my hands! Got cuffs. Is there anybody else in that car? No. No. We need to check on that white car. You got him? Yep. You piece of crap. Probably killed somebody. What? Stand up! Stand up! Oh, you broke my neck. Stand up! You broke my neck. Quit trying to run. Because I'm getting in trouble. Yeah, you're in trouble, all right. Could have just been a simple charge. I got full pockets of film on. I got him.
Despite being told to check on the other car, the officer ran back to his partner almost immediately instead. Ultimately, they completely ignored the other driver who was involved in the fatal car crash. According to the United Nations Human Rights Office, law enforcement officials shall ensure the full protection of the health of persons in their custody, and in particular, shall take immediate action to secure medical attention whenever required. Since the officer had indirectly caused this crash to happen, This placed any and all victims of the incident into his custody. Therefore, he violated the aforementioned policy by ignoring the victim, 28-year-old pregnant woman by the name of Star Shells.
Fourth key in his pocket.
Oh, you guys broke my neck just then.
No, you did, because you wouldn't stand up.
Oh, you slammed my head into the car.
No, you did.
I didn't get nothing.
You wouldn't stand up.
Ah! Stop! I'm not going nowhere. Quit for trying to break my wrist. Stop! Stop! Quit trying to hurt me.
Nobody's trying to hurt you, nothing.
Yeah, you are.
Trying
to hurt
me.
Is this the, who's this? This person all right? Who's this?
This is a turd. That person down there, I don't know.
Good job, bro.
You like it?
Yeah, you did great.
While the two officers were preoccupied with Mickles thinking they did a great job, Miss Shells was still in her vehicle in dire need of medical attention. Thankfully, civilians who noticed the crash quickly rushed towards the site in hopes of helping the victim.
Are you a doctor?
Yeah,
Go ahead, go.
I think we're good. We don't need a distractor. We don't need any. I see nobody else.
Unfortunately, the victim tragically died along with her unborn baby. After the incident, in Oklahoma County District Court, Mr. Mickles entered a negotiated plea of guilty to 2 counts of second-degree murder, larceny of an automobile, possession of methamphetamine, and driving with a suspended or revoked license. Consequently, he was sentenced to 20 years in prison, followed by 10 years on probation. Unsurprisingly, Miss Shell's mother, Connie Basco, filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the city. As a result, shortly a year after the victim's death, Police Chief Wade Gorley announces changes to his department's policy on vehicle chases, acknowledging the tragedy and placing the blame on Mr. Mickles. As of the date of this recording, no further updates have been made regarding the lawsuit. Our next case involves an officer threatening a civilian with a taser and then wrongfully arresting her, all for smoking a simple cigarette. On July 10, 2015, in Hempstead, Texas, Officer Brian Insignia pulled over a 28-year-old African-American by the name of Sandra Annette Bland during a traffic stop because she failed to signal while changing lanes.
Hello, ma'am. With the Texas Highway Patrol, the reason for your stop is you failed to signal your lane change. You got your driver's license and insurance with you? How long you been in Texas? Okay. Do you have a driver's license? No, ma'am. You're okay. Where are you headed to now? Okay. You give me a few minutes, all right?
After confiscating the driver's license, the officer returned to his car to cross-check it with the system. A few minutes later, he returned to Miss Bland's vehicle.
Okay, ma'am. You okay?
I'm waiting on you. This is your job. I'm waiting on you. What do you want me to
Oh,
say?
you seem very irritated.
I am. I really am. Because I feel like it's tapped for what I'm getting the ticket for. I was getting out of your way. You were speeding up, tailing me. So I move over and you stop me. So yeah, I am a little irritated, but that doesn't stop you from giving me a ticket. So let's continue.
Are you done?
You asked me what was wrong and I told you.
Okay.
So now I'm done, yeah.
Okay. You mind putting out your cigarette, please? Don't mind.
I'm in my car. Why do I have to put out my cigarette?
Well, you can step on out now.
I don't have to step out of my car.
Step out of the car.
Despite what the officer may believe, a person is allowed to smoke in their car in Texas. Moreover, the state does not currently have a law that would prevent you from smoking in your car with children. As such, Officer Insignia was not allowed to order the driver to put out her cigarette, as she was free to smoke it. When Miss Bland refused to throw it away, however, the situation quickly escalated.
Step out of the car.
No, you don't have the right.
Step out of the car.
You do not have the right to do that.
I do have the right. Now step out or I will remove
I
you.
refuse to talk to you other than to identify myself.
Step out or I will remove you.
I am getting removed for a failure.
Step out or I will remove you. I'm giving you a lawful order. Get out of the car now or I'm going to remove you.
And I'm calling my lawyer.
I'm going to yank you out of here.
Okay, you're going to yank me out of my car?
Get out.
Okay, all right.
25.
Let's do this.
Yeah, we're going to.
Yeah, don't touch me.
Get out of the car.
Don't touch me. I'm not under arrest. You don't have the right to take me.
You are under arrest.
I'm under arrest for what?
25,
For what?
7 County FM 1098. Just
For what?
290, send me another unit. Get out of the car.
Another unit, FM 1098.
Get out of the car now.
Why am I being apprehended? You trying to give me a ticket
I
for your
said get
failure?
out of the car.
It was clear through his misconduct that Officer Insignia was violating the driver's fourth constitutional right by opening her car door and forcing her out. The Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution provides that the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. The ultimate goal of this provision is to protect people's right to privacy and freedom from unreasonable intrusions by the government.
Why am I being apprehended? You
I'm
just
giving
opened
you a
my
lawful
car
order.
door. You just
I'm
opened
gonna
my
drag
car
you
door.
out of here.
So you threatening to drag me out of my own car.
Get out of the car.
And then you
I will
stop
light
me?
you up. Get out.
Wow.
Now.
Wow.
Get out of the
Really,
car.
for a failure to signal. You doing all of this for a
Get
failure?
over there.
Right, yeah. Yeah, let's take this to court. Let's do
Go
it.
ahead.
For a failure to signal. Yep, for a failure to signal.
Get off the phone.
On my school.
Get off the
I'm not
phone.
on the phone. I have a right
Put
to
your
record.
phone
This is
down.
my property. This
Put
is
your
my
phone
property.
down.
Sir?
Put your phone down.
At this point, the officer started threatening Miss Bland with his taser, along with forcing the victim to put her phone down. Considering that this was an unlawful arrest, Officer Insignia violated the driver's first constitutional right, which states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Moreover, according to ACLU's taser policy, the taser shall never be used punitively or for the purpose of coercion, which was exactly what the officer did in order to force her off the road.
Right now. Put your phone down.
For a fucking failure to signal, my goodness.
Come over here.
Y'all are interested.
Come
Very
over here
interested.
now.
You feeling good about yourself?
Stand right here.
You feeling good about yourself?
Stand right
For
there.
a failure to signal, you feel real good
Turn
about
around.
yourself, don't you?
Turn around.
You feel good about yourself,
Turn
don't you?
around now.
What are you?
Put your hands
Why
behind your
am I
back and
being
turn around.
arrested?
Turn around.
Why can't you tell me
I'm
why
giving you a lawful order. I will
why
tell
am I
you.
being arrested?
Turn
Why
around.
won't you tell me that part?
I'm giving you a lawful order. Turn around.
Why will you not tell me
You are
what's
not
going
complying.
on? I'm not complying because you just pulled me out of my car.
Turn around.
Are you kidding me? This is
Hands behind your back.
because you know this is straight. You full of straight. That's how y'all is. Some scary cops. South Carolina got y'all scared. That's all it is. Scared of a female.
If you would have just listened.
I was trying to say ticket. Whatever.
Stop moving.
Are you serious?
Stop moving.
Oh, I can't wait till we go to court. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait till we go to court. I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. You want me to sit down now?
No.
Or you gonna throw me to the floor? That'll make you feel better about yourself?
Knock it off.
No, that'll make you feel better about yourself? That'll make you feel real good, won't it? For a failure to signal, you doing all of this. In Little Prairie View, Texas. My God, they must want to
You were getting a warning. Until now, you're going to
No,
jail.
I'm getting it. For what?
You can come
For
read.
what?
Come read right.
I'm getting a warning for what?
Stay right here.
For what? Well, you
Stay
just
right
pointed
here.
me over there.
I said stay right
Get
here.
your fucking mind right. Let me. Oh, I swear on my life, y'all some. For a nigga, you
I
gonna
got
take
her
me to
controlled.
jail?
She's in handcuffs.
What a. What a. That's to break my.
Stop moving.
I'm standing still. You
Stand
keep
right
moving
here.
me. God damn it.
Stay right there.
Don't touch me. Traffic signal, you doing all this
Summary right over here. This right here says a warning. You started creating the problem.
You asked me what was wrong.
Do you have
I'm trying to
anything
tell
on
you.
your person that's
do
illegal?
it feel like I got anything on me? This a maxi
I'm gonna
dress.
remove your glasses.
This a maxi dress.
Come on over here.
Have on me. You're about to break my wrist. Can you stop? You are about to break my wrist.
Stop moving. Stop now. Stop it.
Stop resisting, ma'am.
If you would stop, and I would tell you. Now stop.
You are such a. No, you are.
You're yanking around.
Full traffic signal.
You are yanking around. When you pull away from me, you're resisting arrest.
This makes you feel real good, don't it? A female for a traffic signal.
I got it.
For a traffic signal. I know that makes you feel good, officer.
Take care of yourself.
I know it makes you feel real good. You're a real man now. You just slammed me, knocked my head in the ground. I got epilepsy.
Good. Good.
You should have thought about that before you start resisting.
All right. Yeah, this is real good. Real good for a female. Yeah. Y'all strong, ooh.
Go ahead.
Y'all real strong.
I want you to
Y'all
wait
real
right here.
strong.
Wait right here.
I can't go nowhere with knee on my back, duh.
I'm gonna open your door.
It's important to note that an officer may only make an arrest in a very limited number of circumstances. The factors that determine this are: the officer personally observed a crime such as a domestic violence misdemeanor. The officer has probable cause, reasonable grounds to believe the person arrested committed a crime. The officer has an arrest warrant issued by a judge. Since none of the above conditions applied, the officer was simply violating Miss Bland's rights once again. On top of that, when handcuffing her, the officer used more force than necessary by slamming the victim onto the ground. By doing so, he transgressed his department's use of force policy, which states, "It is the policy of this department to value and preserve human life. Officers may use only the force that is objectively reasonable to effectively gain control of an incident, while protecting the safety of the officer and others, in keeping with the standards set forth in the 1989 Graham v. Connor case, 490 U.S. 386. Officers may use force only when no reasonably effective, safe, and feasible alternative appears to exist, and may use only the level of force that a reasonable officer on the scene would use under the same or similar circumstances."
You need to leave. You need to leave. You need to leave. For a warning. For a warning, you're going to jail for resisting arrest. Stand up.
If I could, I
Okay,
can't
roll
even,
over.
I can't even feel my
Tuck
arm.
your knee in. Tuck your knee in.
God damn. I can't.
Listen, you're going to sit up on your butt.
Slam my head into the ground.
Sit
Do
up
not
on your
even
butt.
care about
Listen to how he's telling you to get
I
up.
can't even hear.
Yes, you can.
He
Sit up
slammed
on your
my head into the ground.
Sit up on your
What
butt.
the hell?
Now stand up.
All of this for a traffic signal. I swear to God. All of this for a traffic signal. Thank you for recording. Thank you for a traffic signal. Slam me into the ground and everything.
No.
Everything. I hope y'all feel
This
good.
officer saw everything.
And I'm so glad to put that you just got on the scene. So whatever.
Since Officer Insignia stated that the other law enforcement officer who arrived on the scene witnessed him brutally assault the victim and do nothing, this made her liable for breaking multiple department policies. This is because, according to the U.S. Department of Justice, when a law enforcement officer uses excessive force or engages in other prohibited conduct, other officers on the scene have a duty to stop such action.
No, you wasn't. You were pulling up. No, you didn't.
No, ma'am.
You didn't see everything leading up to it.
I'm not talking to you.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
2547 county.
Good.
Send me a first available for arrest.
That's for any first available record. We have the 298 North U.S. 9 first available record. That's the 298 North U.S.
Yeah, I'm good. She started yanking away, then kicked me, so I took her straight to the
And
ground.
there you got it right there. So, yeah. Let me see what I'll search it for you if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
To no one's surprise, Officer Insignia broke yet another law by searching through Miss Bland's vehicle. That's because if the police search your car without a warrant, your permission, or a valid reason, they violate your constitutional rights. Considering that the victim was unlawfully arrested, the officers were not allowed to search through her car without consent.
But one thing for sure, it's on video.
Yeah.
You heard?
No. Did you see her when we were right here?
Yeah, I saw the that's our point.
Sadly, 3 days after her arrest, the victim committed suicide by hanging herself in Waller County, Texas, due to suffering from depression. However, Ms. Bland's family, along with their lawyer, stated she had shown no signs of depression, suspecting foul play in the matter. Moreover, an investigation was later conducted by the FBI and Texas authorities and determined that the Waller County Jail did not follow the required policies during the arrest. Consequently, following the public reveal of the incident's footage, mass protests occurred throughout the county to speak out against Ms. Bland's arrest, disputing the cause of death and alleging racial violence against her. As a result of all of this, Officer Insignia was taken to court to be indicted for perjury of false statements for Ms. Bland's arrest and was later fired by the Texas Department of Public Safety. In the end, the Bland family settled a lawsuit against the county jail and police department for $1.9 million. Next up, we're going to take a look at a case where officers repeatedly tased and brutally assaulted university students in a mall. On October 11, 2013, in West Lafayette, Indiana, local police officers were dispatched to Chauncey Hill Mall after their department received reports of 2 individuals being intoxicated in public. The officers, however, upon arriving at the scene, handled the situation very poorly.
Stupid enough to be sitting here, smoking a line, getting a loaf.
Get back. I put my phone back. Get your hand back here. I got him. Get back now. Get away.
Take him to the ground. Take him to the ground. Take him to the ground.
As the officers were arresting both men, one tried to retrieve their phone while being detained by an officer, resulting in a scuffle. As a result, other officers jumped in to assist their partner, Aaron Thompson. However, despite having him detained, Officer Thompson found it necessary to suggest slamming the victim onto the ground. Regarding this, the National Institute of Justice states, law enforcement officers should use only the amount of force necessary to mitigate an incident, make an arrest, or protect themselves or others from harm. The levels or continuum of force police use include basic verbal and physical restraint, less lethal force, and lethal force. By following up on the suggestion and throwing the victim onto the ground, they violated his 4th constitutional right, which prohibits the use of excessive force in the course of an arrest, investigatory stop, or other seizure.
Now. I come from a voting.
We can take your phone as evidence too if you'd like.
Moreover, through their actions, the officers desecrated their department's use of force policy, which states, officers shall use only that amount of force that reasonably appears necessary given the facts and circumstances perceived by the officer at the time of the event to accomplish a legitimate law enforcement purpose. This policy shall not be construed to require officers to assume unreasonable risk to themselves. Furthermore, the other officers who witnessed the excessive use of force yet did nothing were also liable for breaking multiple of their department policies. An example of this is the duty to intercede, which states, any officer, regardless of rank or tenure, who observes another officer using force that is clearly beyond that which is objectively reasonable under the circumstances shall, when in a position to do so, intercede to prevent the use of unreasonable force. Any officer who fails to intercede shall be subject to discipline to the same severity as if they themselves engaged in the prohibited use of force. An officer who observes another employee use force that exceeds the degree of force permitted by law should promptly report these observations to a supervisor.
Yo, do not touch me, mother. Bro, do not touch me. We need more units.
After dealing with their first target, the officers now set their sights on the second man, Oyendemola Oluwatimi. After witnessing him videotape the incident, the officers began trying to arrest and even threatened to tase Mr. Oluwatimi. However, the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. The general rule here being that the First Amendment protects a citizen's right to record an officer while they are carrying out their duties in a public setting. By trying to arrest him, the officers were infringing upon Mr. Oluwatimi's constitutional right.
Smitty, I'm gonna tase you. I'm gonna tase you. Run. Give me your hand now. I am not doing anything. No way. Taser, taser, taser. Ah! Ah! Stop resisting! I can't stop resisting! Stop resisting! I am not doing anything! I am not doing anything! I'm standing here right now. Put your hands behind your back! You're gonna get taser, taser, taser! Ah! 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 Oh! Oh my God! I am not doing anything!
It's important to note that the ACLU taser policy states, authorized personnel may use the taser when circumstances known to the individual officer at the time indicate that such application of the taser is reasonable to control a person in any of the following circumstances. 1. The subject is violent or physically resisting. 2. A subject who, by words or action, has demonstrated an intention to be violent or to physically resist, and who reasonably appears to present the potential to harm officers, him, herself, or others. 3. A reasonable belief that an individual has committed or threatened to commit a serious offense. Mere flight from pursuing officers shall not serve as good cause for the use of the taser to apprehend an individual. Since Mr. Oluwatimi didn't fit any of the above criteria, the officer was not allowed to tase him. Regardless, the officer tased him, and by doing so, he transgressed his department's policies, which state, the taser is a use of force and is to be used only when necessary to overcome resistance while effecting an arrest, preventing an escape, in self-defense, or in defense of another person from physical harm, and in accordance with this department's use of force policy.
Stay on the ground. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Just note in the CAD that there's a taser deployed.
Okay. Roll on your side. That one's fine, I guess. On your side. Why did you pushed off on an officer after we repeatedly told you to leave? You didn't listen. You just checked by. Did you want to stick with him?
Yeah, we will take care of it. You need to go away.
All right. Yes, you got the door first. And then you stepped in repeatedly. Of course I'm not going to interfere with the police investigation. You did.
You were.
That's why.
Several times.
We don't, like I said, we don't have this shit. No, hold on. Okay. I'm not going to interfere with that.
You did. There's no sense in saying you're not going to, because you already did. That's why you're under arrest.
Could you allow me to, okay.
Let go of your hands.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. How was I investigating, like me saying right here, about the door?
That's not what you were doing.
Huh?
That's not what you were doing.
You told me that I put my hands on you.
No, that's not actually what we said. I'm not going to talk to you. You're drunk. You've been smoking weed. You can figure it out when you talk to your attorney.
After unlawfully detaining an innocent man and taking pride in it, Officer Thompson approached his peers to tell them what he believed had happened.
Goose. Over there. This guy started fighting when Goose tried to put him in cuffs. This guy got like this with the phone, and Smitty's like, get back, and he wouldn't get back, so we were like, all right, you're going to jail then. Interfering. And then he started fighting.
During his explanation, however, the victim began protesting against his unlawful arrest. Rather than the officers reflecting on what they did wrong, though, they only escalated the situation once again.
Carter! He's going to call you tomorrow.
It should be a lot of... Get in the car.
Get in the car. You'll get tased again.
Sit down.
I want to give him my keys. Stop. Okay, give us the keys. This is my roommate. Okay, give us the keys. We'll get him to him. Yeah, you gonna give it to him? We'll give him to him. No. Yeah, give me. I want to talk to him directly. I want to talk to him in the car.
This isn't a negotiation.
Give the keys and get in the car. I want to give you the keys now. Let go of the keys now. Let go of the keys. I'm telling him. I want to give him the keys. Here, here's my keys. Here's my keys. Have a seat. Okay, all right. Sit down.
After the incident, Mr. Oluwatimi sought out a defense attorney to file a lawsuit after unsuccessfully seeking legal assistance from the Greater Lafayette chapter of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. The lawsuit, however, was dismissed in a federal court because the company, Travelers Insurance, which covers the city's legal fees, was unwilling to move forward, resulting in them paying out $42,500 to Mr. Oluwatimi. Our next case involves a shocking incident where officers repeatedly tased an elderly civilian with schizophrenia, resulting in his death. On July 28, 2023, in Burke County, North Carolina, the county's EMS requested the assistance of the local sheriff's office when African-American Freddie Walker, a 61-year-old man with schizophrenia who was experiencing an episode, was being combative. A few minutes after the call, deputies arrived at the scene. How they handled the situation, however, was morbid, to say the least.
Mr. Freddie, put your seatbelt on for me, darling.
Don't you do that. No. Don't do that. You about to make it a lot worse on yourself, my guy. Go ahead and get back in the car so they can go help you. Okay? Go ahead and get back in the car for me, okay? Don't make it no worse than it gotta be. Put your feet in. Put your feet in. Put your seatbelt on, Mr. Freddie. Will you put your belt on for me, Mr. Freddie? Lean over for me, Doc. I appreciate you. You put your seatbelt on for me, my man? No, I'm not. You put that on for me there, buddy? I appreciate you, Mr. Freddie. He done locked it. Mr. Freddie, put your seatbelt on for me, my man. He keeps locking it. Mr. Freddie, put your seatbelt on for me, my man. We want you to be safe. We want you to be safe. Yeah. Nah, we gonna stay in the car, Mr. Freddie. We gonna stay in the car. Taser deployed, taser deployed.
After Mr. Walker exited the vehicle, two of the officers present, Deputy Zakia Luke and Deputy May, tased the victim without warning. According to the ACLU's taser policy, officers will, if feasible, give the subject a verbal warning before using the taser. The warning should be an explicit statement such as "Stop, get on the ground, or you will be tased." Officers will also announce to other officers that the taser is being deployed whenever possible. Furthermore, it states that taser manufacturers generally recommend that reasonable efforts should be made to target lower center mass and to avoid intentionally targeting the head, neck, chest, and groin. Despite this, Deputy May chose to ignore this policy and aim directly at the victim's chest. Moreover, the other officers present who saw this and chose not to intervene in the unlawful tasing were liable for violating the U.S. Department's duty to intervene policy, which states, officers will be trained in and must recognize and act upon the affirmative duty to intervene to prevent or stop, as appropriate, any officer from engaging in excessive force or any other use of force that violates the Constitution, other federal laws, or department policies on the reasonable use of force.
Roll over now. Do it now. Roll over now.
Stand by. Mr. Fred, I need you to roll over, all right?
Unit calling dispatch.
Roll over for me.
Taser deployed, taser deployed. A3, can you head this way?
All right, so roll over.
They didn't hear.
If you kick, sir, you're going to have time. There you go.
Roll over, Mr. Freddie. Do it now.
I know the moment I grab
A3, you're en route to K1 is real 3.
Y'all ready?
That's 2-4.
Stand down.
If he gets aggressive.
Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down. You're going to get it again. Get down. Sit down. You're going to get it again. You're going to get it again.
Mr. Freddie, sit down.
I'm leaving my activator.
Does Mr. Freddie have any other issues other than
Get back on the ground, Mr. Freddie. You're going to get tased again. Get back. Hey, come here for me. Sir, back up. Get on the ground, Mr. Freddie.
Although one can make the argument that the officers were allowed to use their taser, this was simply not the case. According to the ACLU taser policy, the use of the taser should generally be avoided in the following situations unless the totality of the circumstances indicates that other available options reasonably appear ineffective, impractical, or would present a greater danger to the officer, the subject, or others, and the officer reasonably believes that the need to control the individual outweighs the risk of using the taser. One of the situations that the policy refers to is the use of a taser against the elderly. By not using less lethal means to restrain the victim and instead tasing him, the officers can be considered to be using an excessive amount of force, and therefore not only violated the taser policy, but also Mr. Walker's fourth constitutional right. What made matters worse, however, was that after tasing the victim and having multiple officers press their weight on top of him, the victim fell unconscious and became unresponsive.
That's what, 3?
That's 3. First 2 were 5. That was a 3-second.
I need 1. You let them ride the whole 5. You don't stop.
10-4.
1 on each. One on the leg. We just gonna have to. Whatever we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to do it quick. Get from across the lead.
Alright, so what we actually doing?
He being transported. If we gotta put him in my car, that's fine. But we need to get him we need to get him rolled over and.
You're trying to cuff him. That's what you're trying to accomplish. That's what we needed to know.
What are you doing?
That was his hand, wasn't it? You just tried to hit Gary.
No, they rolled.
We had his hand.
Mr. Freddie, we just want to get you some help, all right?
03.
That was what?
No.
That-
That was 3 from me.
Mr. Freddie, we're gonna try to get you some help, all right?
Hers got deployed at some point.
Let me double
Yeah.
Them mine.
Yeah, I got leads out too.
I know.
Louisville does have a psychiatric.
I doubt it. You think so? Y'all might have to date him. Y'all wanna go to Louisville? That's fine. Come on, Mr. Freddie. No, definitely can see that.
What you need, Lou? What you need?
Stand up. I thought he gonna be able to get out of them clubs, but
I got you.
let me go get my notebook.
All right.
Who got his information? If you got his number, call him. Is there a way to talk and evaluate him to check his vitals while he's like that? Or no?
I'm pretty good. We got a poll before it went bad.
Huh?
We got a poll before it went bad as 120. Okay.
Okay. And I just asked because I want to check him before I put him in my back seat. So I'm not going to let y'all transport when he like that because them clubs going to have to stay home.
Freddie. How you doing, sir?
What's that?
Did he hit you?
Nah.
He just went towards
He went back and come close, but no contact.
I know I let mine out first, but it ain't connect like you need to do.
Yeah, that's why I went ahead with that one.
I'm happy you did. I feel y'all.
DeVault, did you get hit?
Nah.
Okay.
Are y'all able to, when we get ready to put him in the car, once we get him in the car and strap in, are y'all able to remove leads?
Yeah, we.
Okay.
It was at this point that a bystander approached and asked Deputy Ezekiel Luke what happened. The civilian, who showed up, claimed to know Mr. Walker and stated that she was carrying his medicine prescribed by his doctor.
How you doing? I need to get his information. I'm gonna let you know he did have to be paid, but he had to be paid due to trying to like him. We evaluate him now to check his blood pressure and everything like that. But
That's Luke's cartridge. I still have mine in.
Yeah, he's gonna be fine. Make sure you step.
Yes, sir.
But that's why EMS been here with him the whole time.
Let me try to go get this stuff.
What?
All the information.
Okay.
This probably on the medicine. And
Are
the
y'all
doctor
gonna
name
able
is
to-
on the medicine. The doctor, there he go there.
He just close, so he can't move like that. But every time.
That's what they just got.
108 over 120, what, 112?
125.
Let me figure out about some more paperwork.
Okay, that's fine. Hold it.
Yes, ma'am. I heard it. I figured you needed it. I heard it. I figured you wanted it.
Yeah. Just so they can evaluate. I don't have to get that up, but I didn't want that to be connected.
I left mine in so we wouldn't get them mixed up.
No, I know. No, I want yours to stay where they at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The bracelets pop. No, sir.
I understand.
Due to their lack of care of the situation, it was only around 10 minutes later that someone realized that Mr. Walker was unresponsive. After inspecting his body, a few officers quickly requested for help to be given to the victim.
We need to get him out of these cuffs.
Tyler, you got your key?
Yeah. Alright. Yo. Me, get to these cuffs.
Can I go and keep his sister in the house?
Yes. Yo, we're gonna go ahead and get it loaded over, right?
Can you see that one? LT?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Everybody go ahead and get that set up.
One dispatch, I'm all safe. 01.
After removing his handcuffs, the officers began performing CPR on Mr. Walker as they waited for an ambulance to arrive. A few minutes later, the medical team was able to take Mr. Walker to the Burke Health Hospital. Sadly, Freddie Walker was pronounced dead at the hospital a few days later due to being tased by the deputies multiple times. Unsurprisingly, the Walker family demanded justice for what happened. In order to do so, they hired a lawyer and told the people that they were working on filing a lawsuit against the Burke County Sheriff's Office for how deputies handled the incident. As of the date of this recording, no information has surfaced regarding the lawsuit. Our next case involves a shocking scene where a naked man was held at gunpoint outside his own home. On June 3, 2019, in Rock Hill, South Carolina, officers from the local police department were dispatched to search for 4 juvenile delinquents who were part of a carjacking. Through complete coincidence, however, the officer encountered a 71-year-old man, Jethro Devane, standing naked in his home, peeking outside to see what the commotion was all about.
Rock Hill Police, let me see your hands! Let me see your hands! Get out! Get out! Don't shut that door. Get out.
I live here.
Come out of the house.
I live here.
Come out of the house.
I live here.
Face the house. Come out of the house. Who else is in here?
Me.
Just you?
As Officer Vincent Mentasana ran towards the house, he immediately drew his gun and aimed it at the civilian standing at the door. According to his department's use of force policy, except for maintenance, training, or for recreational shooting, officers will not draw or exhibit a firearm unless circumstances create the reasonable belief that it may be necessary to use the weapon in conformance with this policy. Despite being told that the perpetrators of the carjacking were teenagers, Officer Mentasana intimidated an elderly man who had no connection to the case.
Okay. You're good to go inside. Thanks, sir. Sorry about that. What's my name? Officer Mentasana. All right, then. Thank you. Hey, we got a guy right here. Let me see your hand. Let me see your hands.
While Mr. Devane was being held at gunpoint, one could notice other officers entering the civilian's household. By doing this, the officers infringed upon the victim's 4th constitutional right, since the Constitution, through the 4th Amendment, protects people from unreasonable searches and seizures by the government.
I don't care if it's private property. You think I care?
Yes, I'll be incorporated 28-year-old.
Now that I just pointed my gun at him. Yeah, probably so.
Thankfully, the officers left the scene without doing anything else. However, because of the ordeal, Mr. Devane felt an immeasurable amount of embarrassment and humiliation. Officer Mentasana's tyranny and intimidation didn't end here because as the officers were leaving, he noticed something. The officer must have been extremely trigger happy tonight, considering that this was the 2nd time that he aimed his firearm at an innocent civilian, violating the same policies as before. Unsurprisingly, after the incident, Mr. Devane filed a lawsuit against the Rock Hill Police Department, along with lodging a formal complaint. However, the department dismissed the complaint. When he learned of this, Mr. Devane demanded a public apology from the Rock Hill mayor and police chief, along with additional training for their department's officers. As of the date of this recording, however, no new information has yet to surface regarding the apology or the lawsuit. Moving on, we're going to take a look at an egregious case where an officer used excessive force to beat down a driver in front of multiple civilians. On August 12, 2017, in Euclid, Ohio, a local police officer observed a traffic violation committed by 25-year-old Richard Hubbard III. During the traffic stop, police ordered Mr. Hubbard out of the car and attempted to take him into custody. However, the officers present claimed that Mr. Hubbard allegedly ignored their commands to turn away. What they did in response to that was shocking to say the least.
Get back now.
What he doing? What the fuck is doing, Mommy? Mommy, what the doing?
Oh my God. So he's punching him though.
He's a pusher. He's pushing like he's a police.
The officer pulled the victim out of his vehicle, tackled him onto the ground, and began repeatedly punching him multiple times. Clearly, the use of excessive force here violated his department's use of force policy. Not only that, but according to Justia law, excessive force violates the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which forbids unreasonable searches and seizures by law enforcement. Government officials and employees generally cannot violate the civil rights of people who interact with them. Although, if someone has suffered a violation of their civil rights at the hands of a state or local government official, they can bring a Section 1983 claim.
He ain't have to punch him. Oh, wow.
He's a boy.
Yeah. Move her car. I got your wig. They doing all this. Why is he still punching him though?
By repeatedly punching a defenseless civilian who is lying on the asphalt over and over, the officer could be held liable for using deadly force. According to the Supreme Court, it is not better that all felony suspects die than that they escape, and thus the police use of deadly force against unarmed and non-dangerous suspects is in violation of the Fourth Amendment. Being both unarmed, non-aggressive, and already detained, Mr. Hubbard was a victim of this crime. It's also important to note that the other officers witnessing this play out, or even taking part in it, hold them responsible for failing to uphold their duty to intervene.
We're not get back. Right.
Eventually, as more and more officers arrived, they arrested Mr. Hubbard. However, it was at this point that two of the officers also began detaining the women recording and shouting at them. This was yet another infringement upon the constitutional rights of a civilian, since, as stated in NOLO, the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution protects free speech. Due to the amendment, police officers generally cannot arrest people, nor can the government prosecute them, simply for what they've said. Yet, these law enforcement officers ignored that completely.
know, Naya. I think we done. Come here, get back here.
The police got her.
Mm-hmm.
The police is got her.
After the incident, Mr. Hubbard was medically examined at the Cuyahoga County Jail Euclid Annex while the arresting officer was treated and released from an area hospital. In the end, though, Mr. Hubbard posted bond from the county jail on charges of driving under suspension and resisting arrest. Moreover, even after an internal investigation, the arresting officer was simply placed on paid administrative leave pending further review of the incident. As of the date of this recording, though, no updates have been made regarding that investigation. Moving on, this last case involved a grandmother being slammed to the ground by the cops and arrested in front of her grandkids. On January 10, 2023, in Baltimore County, Maryland, Police Corporal Brennan and Officer Schmidt were dispatched to arrest an African American by the name of Sierra Floyd for disorderly conduct at someone else's house. Upon arriving at the scene, one of the officers knocked on the door.
Yes.
Hi. Here.
Yes.
Under arrest.
For what?
For disorderly conduct. She can either come with me tonight. Well, she's got to come with me tonight. She's here. I know she's here. So I don't want to make this a bigger thing than it is, but her behavior was out of line. It's being.
Grandma, don't you open that door. No, what?
She's in the house. I don't want any confrontations. She's under arrest. She's lawfully under arrest.
Close the door. Close the door, Grandma.
Stop. Sir. Start me some more units here, please.
You gonna open my door? You gonna open the door?
Stop! Get back! You are under arrest. You're lawfully on. I don't want to tase anyone. Stop it! Stop! 10-3, please. Step them up.
Look, sit down.
Stop!
What are you doing?
Stop it!
What are you doing? I'm listening to my grandmother, sir. Sit down.
Get out of the way. Can you please get out of the way? She's under arrest. You're interfering with the lawful arrest. I do not want to charge you with anything. I don't want to.
She's going with you.
Okay, so please back out of the way. Back out of the way. Back out of the way. It's going to become a really big problem very quickly.
Yeah, I can open the door back. So he can tase me? No, he ain't gonna tase me.
I don't want to. I told you I came here peacefully and calmly. I came here by myself, peacefully and calmly. I don't. You're under arrest.
For what?
Disorderly conduct.
Where?
Back at the other house you were just at. It doesn't matter what the address was. You were disorderly there.
So you follow me like I said?
I know where you are and where you live.
You follow me
Yes.
like I said you was going to do?
Yes.
Stop off.
I'm 10-4.
He ain't listening, Ma. This is he's racist. He's not trying to hit. Stop. He got his foot in the door. Stop.
Ma'am, could you please
Oh,
get out of the way?
hold on, baby.
I do not want to have to arrest you.
Okay, why are you gonna tase her?
I'm not going to tase her. If you comply, no, this is not how this works. I'm not going to jeopidize myself. Could you please just get out of the way? If she just gets up and comes with me, everything's fine and this is over.
She said, just come and go with her. Go with her. We'll get you out. Come on. All right. No. Move your hand.
Get away now! Back up! Get back! My foot is stuck in the door. Your foot's going to get...
Move your foot. Move your foot. You ain't got no... Move, Grandma. Move.
Step him up. Dispatch, step him up, please.
Move, I told you this guy ain't got nothing to do with you. Move. Get out upstairs. The man got his foot in your...
Back up now! Get back! Get back! You are under arrest or interfere with the lawful arrest. Back up now! Get back! My foot is in the...
Move, Grandma.
Get back! Jesus Christ! And where my unit's at, I'm stuck in a door. I'm 10-4, but my foot is jammed.
Man, follow me all the way over here. Move.
Get back! Get back! I swear to God, get back! You are so up now. now. Jesus Christ.
Open the door. Call the police. Open the door. Go ahead. Call your mama.
Get back! Get back! Get back!
Please don't get her here. Here.
Come here now! Come here! Now! Take your hands out of your pocket! Get back! Come out here! Come out here! You're
gonna come in my house for drag.
Come out! Be easy with her. Easy.
As Miss Millerson was being forced out of the house, the officer's partner ran into the scene, grabbed and then slammed the old grandmother to the ground, despite the arresting officer telling him to be easy with her. Through this action, it's no wonder that the assaulting officer could be held accountable for violating their department's use of force policy.
I didn't do nothing.
Easy. What's going on, man? You're okay. Just bend over.
And I can't deal with that. Come in.
Come out the house now. Get out the house now. Hey, guard, I slammed her. Look down the area. Look at that. Get out the house now. Put your back. Interlock your fingers. Interlock your fingers now. Interlock your fingers now.
It's okay. Call your mama. Call your mama.
I know. He's an employee.
As Miss Millerson was being handcuffed, Miss Floyd exited the house and was subsequently detained, all while children in the background could be heard crying and screaming over the misconduct of the officer. After the arrest of both family members, the Baltimore County Police Chief ordered an investigation to be carried out following the events and actions done by the officers. In the end, Miss Millerson was charged with 3 misdemeanors, including second-degree assault and resisting arrest, while her daughter, Miss Floyd, faced 5 charges, including felony assault on a law enforcement officer. As of today, no new information has been made publicly regarding the investigation. Be sure to check out our previous video where we cover another outrageous police encounter.